Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming and sitting down because today we're talking about disasters.
Gotta put it in the shoe.
How long does a man have to wait to kind of joke about disasters? It's not even a rhetorical question. I'm literally asking. 6 months? A year? 10 years? What about 2,000 years? Surely that gives us enough time to give a little chuckle, I would assume. Right? Things can be horrible, awful, bad thing can happen. If 2,000 years has passed, I mean, we can have a little chuckle or we can at least talk about it in a lighthearted way, which is what I wanted to do today about the death statues of Pompeii, which I want to say that the Pompeii death statues, not even death statues, they're just burnt up people. Gonna get that right out of the way, all right? These aren't art pieces. These were human beings. Let's say you've never heard of it. Let me give you a nice little fill-in on what the Pompeii disaster was. Pompeii was a middle-class Roman city in southern Italy, founded 600 BC, and its population consisted of around 20,000 people. It was a thriving city, filled with restaurants, bars, bakeries, and even brothels. The city sat next to a large volcano called Mount Vesuvius. Such a good name. If I was going to die by any volcano, give me that one. Which had been dormant for centuries. But that all changed on October 24th, 79 AD.
Did you know that there's contention on when it exploded? There's a million dates. They say it's August, and like it's September.
It was a long time ago. Ask Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can tell you what, black holes went out. Around 1 p.m., Mount Vesuvius erupted violently, and for 18 hours, the volcano covered the city in ash and rained volcanic stones to the point of initiating mass evacuations. And approximately 2,000 residents stayed behind to weather the storm, hiding wherever they could. Rocks, ash, and toxic gases rushed down towards the city at around 180 miles per hour, destroying buildings
And suffocating people.
Death was that's the Grim Reaper, okay? Over time, the entire city was completely flooded with volcanic debris. Some were able to escape at the last second, but the rest faced brutal deaths. One of the only survivors, Pliny the Younger, recounted how the city was buried under 17 feet of ash and volcanic rock. He recounted how people covered their heads with pillows as the only defense against the showering stones. Don't think that's gonna work. Over the years, the remains of victims have been found and excavated in a sort of plaster cast state, displaying their final moments before death. The total number of casualties is not known, but 1,044 cast have been discovered. And just a little food for thought, the last eruption of Mount Vesuvius was 1944 and is expected to erupt again in the near future. So, you know, maybe we'll get more plaster sculptures of people. All right, so albeit disrespectful, I think is going to be a lot of fun because today we are doing the Pompeii feels wrong to say. We are doing the Pompeii Death Pose Statue Tournament. We're gonna see which is the best. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. Without further ado, let's start going. Like I said, there's 1,000 of them, but I think we're just going with 16 because a lot of them, it's gonna sound disrespectful, a lot of them are kind of doing the same thing, all right? So we have to kind of, they're either like, oh, or they're laying down, justifiably so, okay? But we gotta have some separation to make this thing work. So, you know, there's a lot of them, but we're only talking about a couple of them. 16 of the best, cream of the crop, ways to pose when you die. Let's get into it. So first off, I'm gonna look at, it's crawling in my skin or the first selfie. First off, I want to say the first selfie, is that their actual teeth?
I don't know.
If that's their actual teeth, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to sit there and be like, put in some fake ones with some dentures?
I was reading some Reddit posts and people were like, those aren't real. And someone's like, they had really great teeth back then.
Okay, I just want to say the first selfie, the teeth are really selling me. But at the same time, crawling in my skin, that's a Linkin Park reference. I want to say looks more like Creed's Human Clay album cover. Also, it's kind of fucked up. The first selfie one kind of looks like they're smiling, doesn't it? Like, what kind of sadistic is like drowning in gas and in volcanic stone and they're just like this? The crawling in my skin one, that motherfucker's going through it. You can tell he's trying to crawl. There ain't no crawling away from anything. But this is where you're gonna see a lot of these forks in the road. Which one's better? First selfie was just like, I don't even give a f. They're kind of smiling at the end. Barely hurts! The other one seems like a guy who's just like, I will not die here. But he did, which I guess if that's the case, I feel like I'd want to go out being like, I don't give a f.
Like Monkey D. Luffy, smiling when you die.
What are you talking about?
Oh, in One Piece, if you have the will of D, you smile before you die.
What does that mean, Nick?
That's just what it is.
Because of that, I'm gonna choose the crawling in my skin one. No, I'll do first selfie. First selfie, I'll give it to first selfie. Next one up is, ooh, a nice wave and just a baby. It's just a baby. First off, he's saying wave, but how do we know that he didn't, like, in his final moments, he wasn't just like, oh. He was flooded with the future, and that's him actually driving a car, and he's waving to his neighbor. technology or the technology because they're in Italy.
It looks like he's driving like a little go-kart.
It's a Mario Kart. We popular Japanese people are going to make Italians very popular. He's like a Mario banana, and then just catches him there. I'm not gonna lie, the baby one, that is haunting. Why does it kind of look like he was like straight up like diving, or somebody held him like a spear and they're like, "Whoa, fly, baby, fly!"
You know what it reminds me of? The dancing baby gif. If you like tilted him.
He's jumping. It's making me sad versus the wave one. I'll tell you what, when I zoomed in on it, I don't mind the wave. I like that he looks like he's driving a Mario Kart, but at the same time, him not having fingers just really shows how painful it is. Also, like the plaster sealing his nose and lips where he's just like... is kind of horrifying as well. But I feel like I would like to have just a jolly wave forever. See, when I die, what I want to happen, I don't want to be buried because I'm claustrophobic. I want to be in a mausoleum. But I want to be in a glass case so my family can come see me. I'm naked. I want to be airtight sealed so I can try to be preserved as long as I can. But if something happens where I'm able to come back to life somehow, don't know how that works. It only opens from the inside. So people can't just come in, fondle me and do whatever they want with me or like steal my brain or like a leg. Yeah, it's like the only person I can only open it from the inside. But then I get scared that sometimes if I do come back, that I'm sitting there and I'm like, ah, this guy's case. But at least I'm not buried.
We have the little pull tab that says pull here.
If I can't open up a door handle, I'm already gone. All right, I'm going with wave. Also, I just don't like babies. You know what I hate about when people have babies for the first time? They're always just like, this is him doing that. Your baby, every baby is ugly. Let me at least agree there. Child and mother. Oh my God. And pray. What's that? Is the kid on her stomach?
Also, apparently it's a man.
This is a man? How do we know where they weren't playing? He's like bobbing him up and down. Whee! One of those things. They didn't even know what was going on, the commotion. Daddy, why are people yelling? Don't worry about it. Woo! Bouncing him up and down. God, the prey one goes so hard. That's so sick. I don't know what the hell's going on with that father and son one.
It looks like the son's like beating him.
His dad's like, stop hitting him in the face. And his son's just fucking wailing on him. Because maybe, what if you can create some backstory is, what if he pushed his mom into the gas or whatever, and the kid saw it, and that was him attacking his dad. This is the final moments of him being like, we're both gonna die. He's like, I don't give a or I don't give a daddy. But then he's punching him like that, and he rips off his Italian mustache because they all have the big mustaches, and he takes off the chef hat, and he's like fucking strangling him with it. Die, Dad. Die.
Jesus.
I mean, it's kind of cool. I will say the guy sitting there praying, though, goes so hard.
What do you think he's praying for?
Probably listen to... What's that song say?
Pray to a God that I don't believe in. I got freedom.
Who is that? Is that Bruno Mars? Don't tell me. I'm going to just assume it's Bruno Mars. But see, now with the backstory that I have, I like the dad and son more. I like the kind of camaraderie there. But at the same time, this is just kind of sick. It's kind of horrifying, too, actually. He's got big-ass knees.
What if he's not praying? What if he's squatting and taking it? Because that's how they did back then.
Yeah, but wouldn't he be kind of standing up? Oh, you know what's kind of fucked up? If you were sitting in that position and you were taking it and your poop slides out like a little snail out of your... in front of you. What if at some point there was a little petrified piece of shit there and he sat there and his limp was over there and the shit grazed underneath the underside of his... He was like, whoa, and then... So now we have the poop prey or we have the Scorsese film. Which one would you say? Which one do you like more?
The child one's funny, but the prey one is just... goes way harder.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. If I was in my pose, even if I was beating the shit out of my dad, I don't think I want to be sitting on my dad's lap forever. I'm gonna go with prey.
It does look kind of sexual.
Well, I didn't want to bring that up, but it does look very sexual. Okay. Buck teeth. Oh, man. Brutal. And sleepy time. Okay. The sleepy time labeling is so disrespectful. Of a guy you can tell contorting in pain. You can see that. And it's like, he's just dead. And it's sleepy time. This one's kind of easy because first off, that pig-nosed buck-tooth son of a bitch. Imagine that's your face forever. People are like this. You're preserved in a museum, you're like, you're a victim of a horrible tragedy. And you're like, well, at least people understand what I went through. And then every time someone looks at you, they do this.
Kind of looks like a cyclops.
He does look like a fucking cyclops. Oh. That's what the voice sounds like. Oh. It looks like he's bricking a bit, doesn't it? Oh. The sleepy time one, it's like he's in pain, but he's kind of comfortable with it. He's like, fingers all contorted, and he's just like, His face kind of looks like, You got some big ass lips too. I have a feeling people have kissed this one before. Look at those lips, big ass lips. What if you're kissing him? You're like, should I kiss him? Whatever. Like, no one's looking, and you do it. And then you look, you open your eyes, and he's like, I guess sleepy time, I guess. But the buck teeth thing, also the expression, I don't know. It's kind of a scary one, man. The two ones here are, he's a little too, that's nice. This photo shows the skeletal remains of two victims identified as a wealthy man who attempted to flee the Pompeii disaster alongside his male slave. It is likely that the rich man was between his 30s and 40s, while the slave was around 18 to 23. The slave was speculated to have a crushed vertebrae based on his skeletal form, which implies that he was either crushed during the escape or forced to do heavy slave labor. Or maybe he's getting them back shots like crazy. Coitus. Kind of does look like he's eating some here, doesn't it? Yeah, actually, this one's kind of rules, dude. Imagine you're sitting there and for all time you get to have some on your head. That's kind of not a bad deal. And also, dude, he's caked up. Got a nice ass for all eternity? Are you kidding me? You got nice ass and titties on your head, or you got a baby's thumb poking out and you're just like, no, everybody knows my tiny. And you got the guy who's just like, and I did slave labor on this guy. He crushed his goddamn pelvis. I would assume something fell on him. Well, actually, if something fell on him, I feel like his legs would be gone. Structural integrity with that.
Do you think the guy who's on his back and got crushed?
Well, actually, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I feel like a rock hit his back and then he was on his side.
Oh! Is it too disrespectful to be like their death noises, the last death noise?
No, I think it's...
I think the guy with the tiny and he's sitting there and he's just like, kind of like Post Malone, whatever. I have some help. One of those things.
It takes two.
It takes two to bring on.
I mean, I gotta go with the guy with parrot on his head and he's all caked up. I don't think there's anything better, dude. Laying with a sexy ass woman forever, being able to show like, yeah, dude, look at this big ass that I had. You know, he was peacocking that thing around too. When he walked, he definitely moved his sides back and forth. You know what I mean? They're like, there goes Poncavius, or where the f his name is. He's just like,
Hello, everybody.
The girl's also doing like the Rizzler thing.
my boy's just a pair of bones. Is that yeah, it's just a skeleton. Is that a pose? It's just a full-fledged skeleton.
Is that Pompeii?
Well, yeah, but that's not a pose. That boy is just a skeleton.
Yeah, but look, he got hit by some kind of building.
That is a Wile E. Coyote if I've ever seen it right there, dude. You think the gas was coming? He had the sign.
Uh-oh.
Also, cheese is brutal. How metal is that, though? Half of your face, and you still have some of your nose, whatever, and you're just like, ah! You know what happened to, actually, when it's f***ed up here, the guy was definitely like, ah! And then died. That's that's horrifying.
It kind of looks like he's having a little pleasure. It was 180 miles per hour. That's how fast the lava was.
This frozen time. All right, we'll go with cheese. You convinced me. It's nice cheese. Wait, I want to thank today's sponsor, Gamer Subs. If you're in the mood to get up, get active, and get out, you better start drinking Gamer Subs, baby. I've completely sworn off all energy drinks besides Gamer Subs because Gamer Subs is keto friendly, it's sugar free, and goddamn do the flavors taste good. I have my own personal flavor called raw meat that is, dare I say, the best one out there. But also, how are you gonna drink these things? Well, they have beautiful anime shakers, big old biddies on these shakers that make everyone gawk and look at you. Also, they're selling blood diamonds on the aftermarket, so be sure to look out because they resell for high value. Okay. You can use our promo code PAPAMEAT to get 10% off your order. And you know what? Even sign up for a couple free samples, because guess what? When you sign up, you're definitely coming back because they're that goddamn tasty. Thank you so much, GamerSubs, for always sponsoring the video. And back to the video. My boy is beaten off! A man got covered in lava while he was beating it to like the entryway of a door. Yeah, he got up for the day. He's getting ready to like walk out of his house and he's like, oh, fuck it. Fuck it. Oh. Poncavius? Huh? Oh! I'm guessing it would probably evaporate. What if you bricked, shot it up, and it also froze with it like strands, like an icicle?
Yeah, probably instant steam.
Oh, yeah. You breathed in his face. Oh! Got that spunky gas. Oh!
What if he did it on his belly?
Ooh!
Your gas, you could see the detail.
My God, that's 2,000-year-old jisms if I've ever seen it. Face down, ass up, dude. Some of these people are caked up. I'll tell you what, though, it looks like this is what it looks like, a gray alien. Also, remove the gravel underneath them. Can we put them on a bed forever? You're just on a bed of gravel, ass up in the air. You know, people are looking at it too, like they're like, oh my, how tragic, and they do. What if there's a perfectly preserved starfish right there between his cheeks? A little scratch and sniff. Take your thumbnail. If I could look like a cheese alien jacking off for the rest of time, I absolutely would do that. Let me be the cheese alien jacking it.
Curling his toes, too.
Curling his toes and gripping the sheets. He's like, ah! If anything, it's a perfect encapsulated moment of human ecstasy, and that's just a beautiful human moment. So I will do jerking it. Bedtime and doggo. My boy just looks comfortable. Is that a piece of cloth he's on? Put him on a cloth. They put the other guy on a bed of gravel. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, isn't that kind of fucked up? All right, bedtime. Bedtime looks good. Also, my boy was doing well. Look at that belly. He looks like, does he look like Jigsaw kind of?
Oh my god.
His face looks a lot like Jigsaw. The dog one's just sad.
Now he's getting his belly scratched.
I don't like seeing it. Also, he's like on embers. They even put him on clean rock. They're just like, throw him in the lava rock. Hey, that's easy. I'd go bedtime. Also, just, I don't know why. It's easy to laugh at humans being dead, but for animals, it's just, it feels disgusting. All right, well, that's the first round done. These are all really good, though. I don't know why, first selfie, this is kind of a minor complaint for me. That one little gap of light shining in my eye forever, it just seems cruel. Doesn't it seem a bit torturous? Also, having one of your arms up. But then if you're doing that complaint, then it's like for my wave, I'm always holding my arms up like this. But then I'm a bit of a show pony. He does have a millennial smirk a bit, doesn't he? Does it not look like he's like this? Put a fedora on that right now and try to tell me that's not a millennial. He has like a lap full of Office DVDs. Well, my kitty, I guess I'm going to have to spoil you tonight. Now, see, now the wave guy, he's getting, I'm gonna give it to wave. Give it to wave. Prey versus sleepy time. God, Prey is just so hard, dude. And also picturing the piece of shit coming out of his there too. One thing I don't understand with this picture, why there's all those pots around him? Is that, do you think that's just that they found in, maybe he's a pot maker. He's making bowls and he's taking it to his workstation because they wouldn't give him the day off. And he's like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna get mine.
What do you think his last sound was?
That's actually before. And then he got done, he was like, and then he died. So that was actually all before what happened. Okay. Sleepy time. It looks like he's got a nice comfy shirt on too, though, doesn't it? Look at him. He's got some full-on robes or whatever, looking comfy.
This is what I think. He's walking, and then he had a heart attack and fell over.
Yeah, I like to think that he had a heart attack, died, and then the whole thing happened. No one found him. No one came across his body yet. You can kind of see it in his ankle here a little bit. It looks like maybe an animal got him for a second, but then they felt the rumbling and they ran off. Don't want to be in the sleepy time, but then I'm in a robe too. Whole thing is with the prey, you're barely human. You know what I mean? You're kind of a blob. Granted, the thing is awesome, or you could be lounging around forever. And you got I don't know, man. The praying one is a better pose. I want to say that, but also, I don't know. You know what? I feel like if you're laying down, you're kind of one of many. I think you got to go with pray just because of that. Even though I will say sleepy time, dare I say, looks like the comfiest of the death poses. And I like to think that he did have a heart attack beforehand, so he died his own way, right? Oh, head or say cheese. Man, that's one is gonna be hard. You got a full ass. You got a full pair of, and you're like cheeked up, snuggled up forever with somebody.
And it looks like he was pulling her pants down. You see that?
God damn, Nick. This is actually just sad. Kind of hits me in waves a little bit, doesn't it? Just sad. I mean, look at that. It's like the Titanic or something. We're gonna be fine. And then just...
You don't think that's like a little dress? He's like...
No. I'm not going to take this man who has on his head and make him look like a creep. All right? He's assed out, cheeked up, chilling with his girl. I mean, he's pushing hard into her stomach, too. God damn. I feel like it's almost like borderline headbutt. How do we know he didn't tackle this woman? See, now you got me all messed up now, too. God damn it. The say cheese guy, I love the half-preserved half skull. It's metal as
teeth are there, too.
Man, if he had some nipples, I'd probably give it to him. You just can't beat it on the head, though, man. You know what I mean? I got a schnoz, though, didn't he? Holy hell.
Yeah, why is that? That's like a perfectly preserved nose.
I want to say, and I don't want to speculate here, I don't know who runs the museum over there in Pompeii. How do we know that isn't just gray Play-Doh? That they stuck, because that is a well-preserved nose. Is that not a well-preserved? No one else has a nose. Where's all the other noses? How do we know some guy didn't come in there and he was just like...
Just put a little teeth in there?
Put the teeth around, slap some fucking Play-Doh on his face. There you go. Isn't that funny? And then everyone's like, oh my God. He's like, all right. I know. He just like ran with it. I know. It's weird. It's half preserved, huh? I gotta give it to your head. Wait, so okay. So, oh, wow. Jerking it or bedtime? So the last guy who was laying down sleeping, you didn't give it to him, even though it looks comfortable. I think bedtime might be the most comfortable looking one. I think if anything, this man might have actually died in his sleep. Versus jerking it, there's something so insanely cool and real about jacking off and on your stomach, and then you are immediately lit in flames and preserved forever in a molten cheese. We come to the point where David Carradine wrapped around a belt around his neck. That's the ultimate form of autoerotic asphyxiation, is what it sounds like. I mean, the lack, not that you're choking yourself, but but put yourself to the brink of death. If you could feel yourself, boom, while death was like caressing your cheek, that's gotta be insane. Jerking it's gotta get it. Wow. Okay, semifinals. We're in the semifinals round here. So we have the Wave versus Prey. The Wave is so jolly, and the Prey is so sad. Should we try attributing what would I want to be preserved as forever, and also the pose itself, and also, I think, general shape. Like when I say general shape, I mean the Prey, you're barely human. You're a blob man. Versus Wave, you still got eyes on them. He's like I said, you got the millennial smirk. You got the OG millennial there. The original Redditor right there waving at you. Even looks like he's got some goddamn khakis on, doesn't it?
You know what? The Wave guy, it kind of looks like he did a cannonball. He jumped into the lava.
It does kind of look like he did. He's just like, embrace it! And he just jumped into it. I think he was on some kind of like weird device that he made that people were like, what the fuck is this? He's like, it's a tricycle.
I like to imagine it was a flying machine.
It's a fly, I'm a bird. People were like, what? And he's like, ah! It just gets burned real quick. Kind of embraced the pain for yeah, he was carrying it through. Well, that's what he was doing. He was taking his way here. He had the millennial smirk going. He's like, and he was getting ready to race. He's like, to do that, but he's like, and he was almost there. The Wave is the OG millennial. Prey goes hard, but there's just not enough features to make this the best, I don't think.
That looks like mud. Like someone just put through mud.
If the piece of poop was there, it would have gone way farther. Or you could have also speculated it was like a tail. You're like, maybe this was like the demon that summoned it, right? But you're like, nah, I mean, it was a no. What if it was perfectly preserved prolapse, just like out a piece of poop? That'd been kind of cool. I mean, it's not here, but you know. You think anybody in Pompeii, do you think any of them had a prolapse ass? Everything just looked like red cabbage over there. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Looked like little monkey brains popping out of their ass cheeks. I'm gonna give it to Wave. All right, this is easily the hardest matchup of the day. It has to be. Head rustled in, caked up, or straight up lying on the ground, jerking it forever. The best pose. Also, both beautifully preserved. Jerking it looks a little more cheesy, a little more like moldy cheesy, and the coitus one is smooth. I mean, it's very beautifully preserved. You got all in my head about him pulling down her panties and stuff earlier, so I'm all like,
it's all consensual.
Oh, you don't know that. Here's the biggest factor for me, because both of them are kind of sexy. You get these in your head forever, but the coitus one, you get to be with someone forever. That's got to be huge. But granted, if you're in a museum and people are seeing you, you're seeing people every day. So you might even want to be alone a little bit after a while. You're like, give me some time, dude. To be fair, you were there underground or under a sheet of ash for who knows how long. Long time. He had. What if he was also had a? It's kind of sad too. Is what if he had a baby? He's like, I love you. You're saying I love you to the baby. That's why he's so close up to the stomach.
I love you, you little meatball. Daddy gonna take care.
And that's the dad talking to the baby.
Don't worry, my little matzo ball. I got it.
And she's like, Alfredo! This is a much more sad scene versus the jerking it guy. That motherfucker was living in the moment. Somehow he transported to the future and he was listening to Ricky Martin in his head, I feel like. Live la vida loca. Think about the on the stomach. You're perpetually forever in a jerk-off stance. That's kind of embarrassing.
But you're a legend.
You are a legend. You are a legend versus if you're with your wife, you got on your head, and you got somebody to cuddle with forever. That's gonna be good. This is actually so hard. Funny points, jerking it wins. Actual story and like preservation, you gotta give it to coitus. I'm giving it to jerking it. I'm giving it to jerking it, and I know that I feel wrong for doing that. I feel like I've betrayed the people. I feel like I've betrayed love, but that is, you know, it is what it is. The boys just gotta jerk it. So that means our finals here is the original millennial with the wave, or my boy Fiesto Jerky. Jim Halperino or Fiesto Jerky is kind of what is where I'm at here. Preservation on both, great. It looks like there's actually more detail on jerking it. Less embarrassing pose on wave, more embarrassing pose on jerking it. This doesn't even feel like a contest, does it? It feels like jerking it has to be our champion. But the wave looks like he does have a pair of like Birkenstocks on. I don't think I like that. You know, like slippers or Birkenstocks or something, which would also be very millennial. I also have a pair of Doc Marten boots in my closet. It's jerking it. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion has to be jerking it. Jerking it's our champion. Out of all the horrible things that happened in Pompeii that day, which is just one. Out of all the horrible things. Yeah. Also, can you believe we got rain? Yeah, we got mud in the house. We tracked mud in, the dog got, I don't know where the dog went. You know, out of all the people that died in the Pompeii disaster, it was a horrible, horrible thing to be fried alive and preserved for everyone to see forever, right? Forever. Preserved forever. And for a man to have died on the floor, jerking it, leg up, toes curled, in a moment of ecstasy, preserved forever, is not something to gawk at, ladies and gentlemen. It is something to admire. When the world is gone and the Pompeii people are still preserved and aliens come and visit us, they'll wonder what this faces, and I think they'll know it was joy. I think they'll know that in this final moments, it was what humans were meant to do, and it was meant to brick, to nut. That's what we were meant to do. Am I wrong? For me, this is the most beautiful thing. Beautifully preserved, creepy at the same time, badass, stoic, and just represents the most beautiful thing a human can do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Pompeii winner. Like I said, there was a lot more. They're all kind of doing the same thing, lying around and clenching their teeth and cowering.
Is there a pose you wish you saw?
A pose I wish I saw? I wish there was a guy like either like this,
Yeah.
on his knees, or the same thing on his knees, like flipping off the bird. I would have loved like one of those. I imagine people were like that though. They were probably just disintegrated. Who stumbled upon that? Do you think people thought it was art at first, or do you think it was so fresh where they're just like, oh, oh, mamma mia? Oh.
But they were like, what did they do? The gods?
You know how fucked up if they did know about this and they're just like,
Leave it.
how fucked up is that?
No burial. They're like a crispy.
Don't touch crispy.
Yeah, don't touch a crispy. Get on your hands. That's a curse from a god.
Italians are scum. I gotta say, this feels like maybe the lowest we've ever gone.
We can get lower.
For at least now, this is the lowest I think I want to go, is rating death poses. If you decide to leave and not come back, I don't blame you. But if you do decide to stick around, then I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.